sports. It's in the game. EA Sports coverage of the NFL is in Houston in the Space City at NRG Stadium. They do. EA Sports coverage of the NFL is in Houston in the Space City at NRG Stadium. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room. And we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with the Seattle Seahawks. And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. Fairly short kick, taken at the 14. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard.
27-yard line.
Hey, 280.
55. Hey, eat. Now watch one. Kill.
Alert.
No. Off.
Check.
On the ground, this is Rashad Penny. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down.
It's a pickup of 3.
Almost special.
At the 30-yard line.
Hey, 0.
From the 30 on second down, Wilson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. Not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
This is it. 19.
54 Mike. Watch the run.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Watson. And Stills bringing it in. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Single receiver.
Throwing again on second down. Watson throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Watson now to throw. Buying time to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Watson going to stay out there as they'll go for it on 4th.
On three. Motion.
Mike, check 33.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a first. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
One foot.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
Hey, easy. Touch. Good touch.
That was shot Penny. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. On 3rd down, Penny. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
Not the result they were looking for there on 3rd down. They end up taking a loss on the play. Only person happy now, the punter. Gets to go out there and show Mom that he gets to play in the game.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Now a 1st down throw, Watson. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the 1st down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 1st quarter.
This is that. 19.
All day, every day, any day.
They'll run for the 1st time with Johnson. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Out of the gun, Watson. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. .330-pounder Al Woods brings the boom on the sack.
Loss on the play. It's now 3rd down.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. And now the Seahawks are going to call another timeout. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this 1st quarter. They're down to 1 remaining.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go. Mike check 33. 33. Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
24 is down. He's coming.
Check Mike 33. Check.
3rd and long. It's Watson. Steps away to his left. He finds Hopkins complete. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
That's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
We're scoreless after 1. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
At their own 38-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
3rd down.
What? 380!
Gotta go, in and out, let's go. Second time, defense, let's go. Check, 55, come on.
Run left, two-way flick.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack there by J.J. Watt. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. Looking for Stills here, and it's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Michael Kendricks. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Penny, the 1st down carry. Oh, nice move. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
Check 31, check 31.
Here's Wilson. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A 7-yard touchdown Brown. As his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead.
Makes the score Seahawks 7, Texans nothing. Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. That's fielded in the end zone.
The Texans take over
Let's go, let's go.
at their own 25-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Dancing to his left. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, 75 yards, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now.
Check. Crunch.
Got it.
Watch 55. All day. 55's mine.
Go.
You remember me? Let's go, baby.
Go. 4 down. Nice.
On first down, Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Brandon Dunn busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Now Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. This complete to Lockett. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime.
Got it.
Wilson leaves this one with Penny. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. They'll run with Penny. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. On the run, it's Penny. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Watch the split.
Mike 41.
Go. I got one.
Push left.
41's the Mike.
Watch the run.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. 7 yards there and a first down.
Seattle.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check.
Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They'll try and run forward with Penny. Penny hit, and the ball is jarred free. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal.
Hey. Shoot this side. We got 3. Tighten up.
Zebra.
Sponge.
They'll run with Penny here out of the shotgun. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Better ball security, but not much else to show for it.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Myers' kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
Come on, baby, let's go. Get started. Let's go. Let's go.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Run you over. Show it up. Show it up. 54. At 55.
Pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. It's complete to Hopkins. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. They are going for it. Here's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. Well, they've got the slim deficit, decided to go for it, hoping to keep the football score and erase that deficit. But, boy, deep in their own territory like that.
Let's just say that with that call, me and the head coach will agree to disagree. All right, but he knew he wanted to be aggressive there, as you pointed out. So I guarantee he told his defensive coordinator, have your guys up and ready. I'm willing to go for it here. If we don't get it, just make sure they're ready to go out there and bail us out.
Gun. Check four.
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this 3rd quarter. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me. Hey, switch it.
Now it's Penny. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. A chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Run left.
Shit.
Alert.
To throw is Wilson. He's got Lockett. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
And the key number on that play, 3. 3rd play of the drive, 3rd down, spectacular catch, turns into a 1st down.
1st down saves them from a 3 and out. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. That's going to go down as a loss of 9 on the first down play.
Go, 14.
Throwing on second and long. Wilson. It's caught. Lock it. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down.
A gain of 17. But it brings up third down.
Touch. 380.
Check 55 to Mike.
They'll try and run for it with Penny. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with fourth down at a yard.
It's now fourth down.
Whip. Watch the whip.
14, got it.
Wide, get wide. He's coming. We got double up.
They'll run with Penny, and they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down, and this Texans defense stands tall. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to give a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar
I was
situation.
going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. He goes full extension, and he's got it. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
Maximum effort, partner. Minimal gain.
Yeah, minimal gain. Looked good, though. Back now in Houston. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the 4th quarter. The Texans on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Texans on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. Now it's Watson. Man open, that's Kiki QT complete. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. Watson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
Oh, yeah. Here we go again. Hey, check Mike 33. Check Mike.
To the air yet again. Watson. Dumping it off for Johnson. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Watson looks to throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Here we go on 4th. Watson. Forced out to his left. Now he'll square up and throw deep into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now listen, it's a team game, we know that, but where would these guys be right now, Charles, without their defense? They take over here following the turnover. Defense did it again, but on offense they have to feel like, hey, we need to do something.
You're exactly right, and you just mentioned it. The defense did it again. They've bailed them out on a number of occasions in this contest. It's time for them to repay the defense at the least. Keep the ball for a while. Give those guys a break so they can catch their breath.
Let's go double count right here, double count. 14, run it. Tempo.
6 guys, check 6 guys. Check 3. Check 13. 12. Kill. Jim.
They'll start on the ground. It's Rashad Penny. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards the pickup there. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter. Wilson defers to Penny here on the draw. It'll be a minimum pickup, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning.
36 power.
From the 41, Wilson. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He'll find Metcalf. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Kill. Turn up. Kill, turn up.
Go, guys, 4 down.
You got motion man right there.
They go back to the ground now with Penny. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. An ideal down and distance to try to finish this thing off. 2nd and inches.
Hey, 0.
41 Mike.
One left.
You're not ready.
Again, it's Penny.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
Wilson to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a gain of 14 there, and that should be enough to get them home free.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Gun.
Under 10. Under 10. 10.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And this time they were ready for him as they stop him right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal.
At the 7-yard line.
Front left.
Today's final score, Seahawks 10.
Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost felt like opened up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you?
I
You loved
did.
the defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. So long from Houston.